Did you know that you can turn dry leaves from your local woods into one of the best soil amendments for your garden? You just need to find an area with high vegetation to find and collect leaf mold. Leaf mold is nothing more than the layer of leaves that keeps falling down and gets decomposed by fungi. You should simply move the first layer of leaves that you find on the ground and collect the dark brown, earthy textured subsoil. You can use it as mulch, seed soil mix, or homemade potted soil. You can also easily make your own leaf mold. Just collect dry leaves from the local park and pack them into bin bag, poking holes for aeration. In a few years, it will turn into earthy textured leaf mold.
Hold on, don't go anywhere. I know you guys got your buckets, but do you have any 2 liters? Don't throw them away. Check this out. Just going to want to take it, cut it directly in half. Pick your favorite green beans, stick them in the ground. Cover them up. Give them a water. Gonna stick this guy right on top. Basically, we just made a little mini greenhouse that's gonna help heat up that soil, keep the humidity in, and get these seeds to sprout. Have a good day, guys.
It is so fascinating to me how loofahs go from this to this to this. What? Y'all, that's where loofahs come from. So cool. Wow.
It's the 22nd of November here in England, and as you can see, the garden is very wintry. I suppose I should say autumnal rather than wintry, because there's a lot of frost and snow to come yet. But look, this tree is a Prunus autumnalis. The flowers aren't large, but look, they're out already. And do you know, this tree will carry on flowering right through till about February, March. It's fantastic, all through the winter. I'll post you some pictures of it later in the year, so you can see how beautiful it looks. See, there's not a lot at the moment, but flowers have started, and they'll be here all winter.
This portable solar farm unfolds from a shipping container and is ready to go, no assembly required. The farm fully expands within 15 minutes after the press of a button and uses green renewable energy. It's equipped with solar panels and a battery port, making it 100% self-sufficient in remote locations. Could this compact green machine help replace diesel generator?
The reason why a lot of people won't become who they want is because they're too attached to who they've been. And you hear it all the time when people say, I've always been this way. Okay, well, if that's working for you, keep doing that. I knew it wasn't working for me any longer. I had hit my version of rock bottom. So I was willing to let go of everything and everybody. See, another reason why people won't get there is because the doorway is for you to fit through. You're trying to carry everybody else through because you're trying to be Rescue 911. And you got to rescue you first. I am much more valuable to my family and to my community because I was willing to let them go through the door myself, teach myself, learn myself, condition myself, and then come back and get them. I'm much more valuable to them now.
This is what the garden used to look like and how much the new one cost. First up, there was a lot of waste and rubble to shift, including the remains of an old pond. Someone charged £250 to take it all away. Then about £200 for a grab lorry to come and take away the massive mound of earth. Once it was cleared, the landscapers started on their work. They levelled off the garden and used sand and hardcore to prepare for the path and patio. Went for natural stone paving, which is slightly more expensive but harder wearing than concrete. And the reveal for the pour-in grout was very satisfying. Shingle was used to smarten up the edges of the patio. Then once the patio was done, it was onto the turf. Loads of topsoil, mainly to level off and prepare for the grass. Went for natural over artificial just because it's better for the environment and it's slightly cheaper as well. This did mean for about 3 weeks afterwards I had to walk the grass a lot. And then you might have seen, to finish it all off, I did paint the fences myself. Started with a brush, but I bought this paint sprayer which made the job a lot easier. Landscapers charge around about $5,500 for materials and labour, which means the whole project costs just under £6,000.
Non-invasive wildflower seeds for the butterflies and the bees. Here's what they'll grow into.
So because for the life of me I cannot stick to one topic, today we're talking about guerrilla gardening. All that is planting beautiful flowers and trees on land that you do not technically own. Some trace the origins of guerrilla gardening back to the Diggers, who were basically anarchists in 1649. Johnny Appleseed is also kind of considered a guerrilla gardener. But many of us agree the real magic began with this woman, Hattie Carthen. She was a one-woman show for a while, leading an enormous movement of tree planters and community garden growers around Bed-Stuyvesant in New York, which was a historically redlined area with many fewer trees. By the way, trees are not just pretty, they improve air quality and are even seen to lower the temperatures of the neighborhoods they're in by a few degrees Celsius. Then there was Liz Christie. She started the Green Guerrillas, which led to over 1,000 community gardens across New York. Here in Philly, we have people like the North Philly Peace Park and the amazing Philadelphia Orchard Project. I'll add some links for some more resources on how you can get started.
Creeping fig. Y'all are always asking me about this. It's super easy to grow. Simply plant it in the ground. Now, creeping fig takes a while to grow. It takes about probably 3 years to get this look. You always want to keep it cut back because it makes it nice and neat looking. Now in the winter time, if you get a really hard freeze, this will die back, but guess what? It'll come back. Creeping fig, one of my favorites for cover a wall.
This is what planting up to 1 billion trees per year looks like. Bombs filled with seeds and covered in clay and nutrients hit the ground ready to grow into a forest. Planting trees takes time and some places can be hard to reach, so using planes and helicopters makes it possible to plant tons of trees at once and cover a larger area with seed bombs. Every year, 18 million acres of forest are lost to deforestation, but scientists say 11% of our planet, or the equivalent of the US and China combined, could be replanted to remove 2/3 of all carbon emitted by human activity, and this could be key to combating climate change.
It's been a while since I've done a composting video, but we are back, and for this series I'm going to be talking about the biggest mistakes that I see people make when it comes to composting. So the first one is that they don't aerate the compost. So that's what I'm doing here. This helps speed up the process of everything breaking down. The next one is that they don't actually add in enough brown stuff. So you need to add 2 parts brown to 1 part green, which is your food scraps, and then everyone's too fussy. Just throw everything in, see what breaks down and what doesn't. The more the merrier.
Grab a drink because it is time to start working with this garlic. First thing I'm going to do is take all the cloves apart, and this is one I grew and harvested last spring. Okay, so here it is broken apart, and I just want to show you a few things. For instance, this one I probably will not plant because it grew really flat in between 2 other cloves. So I'll just put that in a separate bowl and I'll either cook with it or I'm going to start another round of fermented garlic and honey. Another thing, this guy, the outer layer peeled away, so that's also going to go into my cooking bowl. You really don't want to plant that. You want a nice clove like this, and it's got some skin all around it, and this is going to be a really good one to plant, and it's nice and big. So that is going to go in my planting bowl along with the leftover outer part, and it's just going to go into the soil and compost down. If I hadn't put an order in and gotten all this garlic from someone who grew it, what I would do, and this is just me, but I would go to the grocery store, and if there was garlic grown in the USA, or sometimes like my local Harris Teeter has a like locally grown table, I would just find some garlic there, and personally I would plant it. I am growing all hardneck varieties, so you can see in the middle here, that's where the stem was. You can also go to the farmer's market, and if someone is selling garlic there, then you know it was grown locally and you know it will grow well where you are. So you can definitely try that as well. I'm getting a good amount, but I really want to grow like a lot. But some of this is skin too, like it's not like all garlic. But I do have a good amount of garlic cloves, so I am excited about that, but I know I'm gonna have a lot of space in my raised beds. So I ended up with 141 cloves. I'm really happy with that, and I am still owed another pound, so I know that's coming. So I will get to planting these. Some of them are on the smaller side, which is okay. Next spring when I harvest, I will use the small ones for cooking, and I will save the big ones for planting.
Lots of garlic.